Today, 6 men pleading guilty to the murder of Gauteng health official Babita Deokaran nearly 2 years ago now. She was gunned down in the driveway of her home after dropping her daughter off at school. Now, at the time of her murder, she was exposing widespread corruption at Tembisa Hospital. Let's speak to Health Minister Dr. Joe Phaahla now. Minister, thank you so much for joining us. You know, these 6 have pleaded guilty to the murder, which is great news because we understand they've made a plea deal with the state. Do you believe this is the moment that is going to ultimately lead us to the people or persons who ordered her killing?
Well, that's really the main issue. That's the main issue which, I mean, just the plea bargaining, Sally, in itself clearly makes us, really jittery in the sense of that we now, it's not speculation. It is confirmed that these are the people who took an innocent life of a dedicated public servant. Having confirmed that, of course, we all get concerned about the kind of punishment. So at the end, we just hope that plea bargain which was reached with the NPA is based on the fact that they have made full disclosure in terms of who ordered the assassination, in terms of what actually happened, because it will only help to root out this kind of a sketch if the law enforcement agencies can go deeper into the real mastermind, because I can tell you that, as you know, even after the issue of Babita Deokaran, there's been quite a lot of other malfeasance which have been reported, not just in Gauteng, but from the SIU reports of malfeasance. There are officials who have been suspended. There are some who are appearing in court as we speak. The former HOD of the Northwest Province is in court in Mafikeng. So until we get deeper down into the masterminds behind this kind of activities, then, this is not going to be, a very good ending.
Yeah, and exactly, we've been focusing on Tembisa Hospital because that is exactly what she was probing at the time of her assassination. But you're making the point that this is very likely not an isolated case of corruption, extreme as it was. In recent weeks, we have seen the Special Investigating Unit, their body of information that they've been uncovering has led to the Health Department being able to suspend 6 officials. 3 others have already retired or resigned. Do you believe that we will soon see criminal charges against these people who have been suspended pending an investigation into corruption?
Well, ultimately, that's what we're hoping for, that, one, in terms of, at least, in terms of administratively, making sure that people who have been involved are formally charged, not just suspended. We've been, in Gauteng, we have been assured that some of the charges internally have already happened. The SIU is still also going further, working with the Gauteng department, just in terms of the Gauteng situation, to, now that they've got the proclamation, to make sure that they can now formulate what will be chargeable offences over and above the administrative charges, which can then be presented to the police and the National Prosecuting Authority. So, as I've mentioned, they are already in some of the provinces like Northwest. We know that there's also a case in the Limpopo province where the former HOD resigned, and the SIU obtained, the court order to freeze her pension. We're hoping that even that case also is going to come to the courts with formal charges. So it's only when people are held accountable right up to, formal charges and, cases presented and being found guilty, that ultimately we can have a hope that this sketch, which is draining very vital, life-saving resources from our health facilities, can actually be brought to an end.
tomorrow, Wednesday, marks 2 years since she was assassinated. Why has it taken so long to act against those suspected of the rot at Tembisa Hospital? Because after all, Babita Deokaran was already flagging suspicious transactions. Why was that not enough to act quicker? Because the problem is, if we don't act quicker, the crooks have got longer to not only carry on the corruption, but also cover their tracks.
Well, that's why, as I've said, Sally, that really, my hope in this case, while, initially when there was an announcement about the plea bargain, my worry was, are we going to have a situation where things are pushed under the carpet? But I'm hearing, and one needs to follow up with colleagues within the criminal justice system, just to get assurance that indeed this is going to get right up to down to the bottom of the masterminds. Because the reason why issues like this take long, because this there's a lot of collaboration. There's a lot of you scratch my back, I scratch your back, I protect you. There are masterminds who then make sure that there is a web of protection, and when somebody gets a wind, they are able to influence some of the people who are probably even higher up, and then those who pick up something, some of them it's possible that they even get moved to different functions, so that those who are cooperating with the malfeasance can continue to be protected. So going down to this, hopefully, as one is hoping for, will actually open up, the whole network, which then will help us to go right to the bottom, so that you can actually dismantle a whole kind of networks, which create all this protection of this corruption. That explains why it takes long, because there are a lot of people who are involved and they cover each other up.
All right. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us this evening. Health Minister Dr. Joe Phaahla expressing hopes that we will get to the truth of what happened to Babita Deokaran, that these 6 men who've pleaded guilty will come forth and say who ordered that killing.